And then we talk about the second autopsy. Remember, the Will County, I guess it was the coroner's inquest it's called, conducted their own investigation into this case. Husband's always the first suspect, and they did a good job of it. They found her in a bathtub with a laceration to her head. It's obvious that she slipped and she fell in the tub, and her hair was not drenched with water. Her hair was soaked with blood. And it's been shown that that tub will drain. It's been shown that that tub will drain. The Savios hired a New York lawyer and convinced Fox Entertainment Network to invest $100,000 in paying Dr. Baden to review the autopsy and reinterpret the results. Well, you know what? Guess what? He's going to come up with a homicide because he had 100,000 reasons to do so. They encouraged Fox Entertainment to do this. They put pressure on the Will County State's Attorney to do this. Fox got involved. Fox has the exclusives. Fox has something to report now, and Fox has had something to report. Fox created the case along with Dr. Baden to make more news. Experts tend to agree with whoever hires them. We know that. That's common sense. One thing that's kind of interesting that Baden couldn't wiggle out, maybe for $200,000 he could have wiggled out, but he couldn't wiggle out of one thing, and that one thing was the cause of death was drowning. Stipulates the cause of death was drowning. He couldn't wiggle out of that one. And Dr. Mitchell found that the cause of death was drowning, and he wasn't paid. He's just a county employee. Another thing, her fingernails were short and clean, which indicate there was no struggle. No, and I said before, no bruises on the neck. There was a gold chain that was completely intact. There's no evidence of strangulation. This is important. There's a wrinkling of the fingers and the palms. And that's important because that shows, you know how when you take a shower or a bath too long and you look at your hands, especially little kids, they start screaming, they go, oh, look at my hands. And they get all wrinkly. Well, that's what her hands look like. That means she was in water for some period of time. And the tub drained. If she wasn't in water for some period of time, there wouldn't be wrinkling of the fingers and the palms at all. It would be dry. She also had a mild, what they call a mild mitral valve thickening, which is basically a thickening of the valve in your heart, which has been known to cause people to faint. And that's another thing that could have happened to her. Maybe she didn't fall. Maybe she fainted and hit her head. And maybe she passed out from a lack of oxygen to her heart. And then the laceration in the back of her head, we know, because the autopsy says so, it was probably caused by her slipping, whether she fainted or whether she slipped on a bar of soap and hit her